This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
"6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Danushka Madhavala, read by Soundi Thavam. The government aims to fully vaccinate the citizens above 18 years of age before this September. At least 1,500 people have attended a total of 120 protests carried out within the past month. The intelligence officials say that it is one of the main reasons for the spread of COVID-19. Sri Lanka's COVID death toll reaches nearly 5,000. An amended circular issued on recalling public servants to work. Foreign Minister Gunawardena called for enhanced global efforts to forge closer cooperation between countries to enable the availability and affordability of COVID-19 vaccines to everyone. In foreign news, Taliban capture Afghanistan regional capital Zaranj. In sports, American Allyson Felix became the most decorated female track and field athlete of all time by taking the 400-meter bronze for her 10th Olympic medal. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has directed the health authorities to make arrangements to administer the first dose of Sinopharm vaccines to those aged above 30 years at any vaccine centre rolling out the second dose. The President's media division stated in a statement that the government has placed purchase orders for COVID vaccines in order to achieve the target of fully vaccinating the citizens above 18 years of age before this September. The government is even ready to roll out a booster dose for the vaccinated individuals. An increase has been observed in the number of admissions at hospitals in Colombo and other main cities due to the novel coronavirus. Accordingly, the President stressed that any patient arriving at hospitals with COVID-19 symptoms should not be inconvenienced by this congestion. The President went on to instruct the ministers, state ministers and health officials to directly intervene to put together a mechanism to prevent the inconvenience caused to the public at hospitals. The President's comments came during the meeting of the Special Committee on COVID-19 Mitigation held at the Presidential Secretariat yesterday. The intelligence officials say that at least 1,500 people had attended a total of 120 protests carried out within the past month. They stressed that these public assemblies held in violation of health regulations have accelerated the spread of COVID-19 in the country. Meanwhile, State Minister Susil Premajayanth says that the teachers' protests have been politicised at present. The State Minister pointed out that many of the present SJB members were there at the former Good Governance government and they could have sorted out the teachers' salary issues as there was no pandemic situation in the country at that time. The Ministry of Health says that another 1,910 persons have tested positive for the novel coronavirus yesterday. This increases the total number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 reported in the country to 323,339. Meanwhile, the total recoveries stands at 288,307. Sri Lanka's coronavirus-related death toll is nearing the 5,000 mark. 98 COVID-19-related fatalities were confirmed on Wednesday, the highest single-day spike since a new system was implemented to report deaths in the country. Accordingly, the COVID death toll has increased to 4,919. 44 females and 54 males were among the victims. Of the female victims, 33 were over 60 years and 11 were between 30 and 59 years. 37 of the male victims were over 60 years of age, while 16 were between the ages of 30 and 59 years. One male below the age of 30 also succumbed to COVID-19. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Sri Lanka Insurance. Like a father, like a mother.
An amended circular on recalling state sector employees to work under new health guidelines was published yesterday. The circular says that each public servant is required to report to the office at least 3 times per week. Accordingly, they will work from office on a shift basis to ensure that services provided by their respective institution remains uninterrupted. The employees are obliged to work online even on a day they are not called to the office. The shift basis work schedule is not applicable to the staff members who are provided transport services by official vehicles or pool vehicles. They can report to work at the discretion of the head of the institution. Pregnant staff members and female officers with children below the age of 1 year will not be called to work, the circular read further. In addition, a flexible procedure will be followed if an employee suffers from an illness or has any valid reason to be not called to the office. The employees have been urged to follow health guidelines, wash hands, wear face masks and to keep their workplace sanitized. The World Health Organization says over 500 million COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the Southeast Asia region, with more vaccine doses becoming available and countries scaling up efforts to rapidly expand coverage amid recurrent surges in cases. The WHO Southeast Asia Region Regional Director Dr. Poonam Ketrapal Singh says that countries across the region are making unprecedented efforts to reach more and more people with life-saving COVID-19 vaccines, demonstrating their commitment to containing the pandemic at the earliest. COVID-19 vaccines are an important tool in our fight against the pandemic, as they are effective even against the variants of concern in preventing severe disease, hospitalization and death. As of yesterday, 618.5 million doses have been administered. As many as 146 million people have received 2 doses of the vaccine and are fully vaccinated. The maximum 489 million doses has been administered in India, which reached 8.6 million people on day 1 of its reinvigorated campaign in June. Indonesia, which is the first in the region to launch the COVID-19 vaccination drive, has administered 71 million doses, followed by 18 million doses in Thailand. Sri Lanka has administered 13 million doses and has been consistently reaching out to 500,000 people per day with the COVID-19 vaccination recently. Bangladesh is scaling up vaccination and also preparing to vaccinate Rohingya refugees in Cox's Bazar. Bhutan has achieved a coverage of 70% per population with the first dose and 62 per 100 population with 2 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine, the highest in the region so far. Commendable efforts are being made by countries. With more doses available in recent weeks through COVAX, all possible efforts need to be made to expand COVID-19 vaccination coverage even further, the regional director said, adding that nearly 90% of all the vaccine doses available in the region have been utilized. That concludes local news.
The largest bonus declared in the history of the Sri Lankan insurance industry. Sri Lanka Insurance Grand Bonus, an unmatchable bonus of 8.6 billion rupees only for Sri Lanka Insurance life policy holders from the nation's largest insurer. Call 0112 357 357 for more details. Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Addressing the first international forum on the COVID-19 vaccine cooperation held virtually, Foreign Minister Gunawardena called for enhanced global efforts to forge closer cooperation between countries to enable the availability and affordability of COVID-19 vaccines to everyone, in line with the SDG 3 target to ensure access to safe, effective, quality and affordable essential medicines and vaccines for all. While highlighting the Sri Lankan government's success in vaccinating more than 90% of its population over the age of 30 with the first dose of the vaccination, Minister Gunawardena underlined that there still remain significant inequalities in vaccination programs across the world that need to be remedied to successfully defeat the COVID-19 pandemic. Towards this end, Minister Gunawardena thanked both bilateral and international partners, particularly China, for the timely supply of over 10 million vaccines, including the gift of 2.7 million Sinopharm vaccines to Sri Lanka's vaccination campaign. The Foreign Minister also urged closer cooperation on research and product enhancement to maintain the quality of vaccine manufacturing. The forum, which was chaired by the Foreign Minister of China, Wang Yi, was attended by the UN Secretary-General, Director General of the WHO, Foreign Ministers and Health Ministers of 24 countries, representatives of Gavi, CEPI and vaccine manufacturers. A joint statement on advancing vaccine cooperation was also released by the participants following the meeting and came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Moving on to Watchlight, the Colombo Municipal Council says that digital vaccination certificates will be issued on request for residents of Colombo 1 to 15. The CMC regional epidemiologist Dr. Dinu Guruge said that those who want the digital certificate must email both sides of the vaccination card, contact number and both sides of the NIC or passport to epidunitcmc@gmail.com. Repeating that email ID again, epidunitcmc@gmail.com. The certificate will be sent by mail to the recipient and came to you in Watchlight. Moving on to a bulletin of world news making headlines, the Taliban capture Afghanistan regional capital Zaranj. Greece fires spread uncontrolled, killing a fireman. Families of 9/11 victims tell Biden not to attend memorial events. A city in southwestern Afghanistan has become the first provincial capital to fall to the Taliban since the militants launched a sweeping offensive earlier this year. Local officials said the Taliban had captured Zaranj in Nimroz province in a major blow to government forces. The insurgents continue to make rapid advances across the country as foreign troops withdraw. They have taken swords of the countryside and are now targeting key cities. Other provincial capitals under pressure include Herat in the west and southern cities of Kandahar and Lakshgar. The UN Special Envoy for Afghanistan, Deborah Lyons, on Friday said the war there had entered a new, deadlier and more destructive phase with more than 1,000 civilians killed in the past month. 2 people have been killed and 6 areas put on high alert as uncontrolled wildfires spread across Greece. Huge clouds of smoke are billowing over the northern outskirts of Athens, where people are being urged to leave their homes. A 38-year-old volunteer firefighter was killed by a falling electricity pole in a suburb of the capital. Greece's Prime Minister says a heat wave has turned the country into a power keg. Firefighters are battling 154 wildfires across the country. Fanned by unpredictable winds, the worst blazes are around the north of Athens. Fires are also raging on the nearby island of Evia and areas close to ancient Olympia, the birthplace of the Olympic Games. Family members of the victims of the 11th September 2001 terror attacks have called on President Joe Biden to stay away from memorial events unless he declassifies files about the attacks. Nearly 1,800 people signed a letter calling on him to release documents that they believe implicate officials from Saudi Arabia in the plot. They say that if he refuses, he should not attend ceremonies next month to commemorate the 20th anniversary. Nearly 3,000 people died on 9/11. The attacks were committed by the Al-Qaeda terror group, investigators say, and triggered the US invasion of Afghanistan. 15 of the 19 plane hijackers were Saudi nationals. Back to the headlines of the world news. The Taliban capture Afghanistan regional capital Zaranj. Greece fires spread uncontrolled, killing a fireman. And families of 9/11 victims tell Biden not to attend memorial events. That concludes this bulletin of world news.
Development News is brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melva RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melva RB500, #1 in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
Win lakhs and lakhs with CIB Janajaya. 40% discount for your bills till 15th of August. 6 hand tractors at the Grand Row. CIB Janajaya.
The High Commissioner of India to Sri Lanka, Gopal Bagle, called on Foreign Minister Dinesh Gunawardena recently. Minister Gunawardena has thanked the government and the people of India for extending assistance to Sri Lanka in combating the COVID-19 pandemic and appraised the opening of the country for economic activities. High Commissioner Bagle also appreciated Sri Lanka for lifting entry restrictions imposed on fully vaccinated Indians, as lifting of such restrictions would provide immense benefits for the Sri Lanka's tourism industry and the economy as a whole. During the discussion, a joint commemoration of the 75th anniversary of independence of India and Sri Lanka was proposed in view of celebrating the centuries-old cultural values shared between the two countries. That came to you in Development News.
Development News was brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melva RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melva RB500, number one in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
Win lakhs and lakhs with CIB Janajaya. 40% discount for your bills till 15th of August. 6 hand tractors at the Grand Row. CIB Janajaya.
On to sports news, American Allyson Felix became the most decorated female track and field athlete of all time by taking the 400-meter bronze for her 10th Olympic medal. Sean Miller-Uibo of the Bahamas won the gold medal, with Marilady Paulino of the Dominican Republic taking silver. Felix, 35, passed the record of Jamaica's Merlene Ottey, who won 9 Olympic medals. Felix has now won 6 golds, 3 silvers and 1 bronze. She has a chance of an 11th medal on Saturday, when the United States seek to defend their 4x400-meter relay title, and it would take her past Carl Lewis as the most decorated American track and field athlete. Laura Mew claimed a superb silver medal as she shattered the British record to finish behind Kenyan defending champion Faith Kipyegon in the 1,500-meter Olympic final in Tokyo. The 28-year-old Scot, who has come close in a succession of world and Olympic finals without making the podium, hit the bell on the shoulder of Kipyegon and world champion Sifan Hassan. That's sports news. We'll look at business news next.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Virgin Galactic has reopened ticket sales for its space flights at a starting price of $450,000 a seat. It is almost 90 million Sri Lankan rupees. It comes after the company, led by billionaire Richard Branson, completed its first fully crewed flight to the edge of space in July. The firm hopes to start commercial flights next year after completing several more test missions. It had previously sold tickets at $250,000 apiece, but stopped in 2014 after a fatal accident. In a statement, boss Michael Colglazier said, last month's successful test mission has renewed public interest in the firm's offer. That's business news. Economic news up next.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news. Courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
America's second-largest stock exchange has said it will set binding gender and diversity targets for its listed companies. Firms on the Nasdaq, which include tech giants such as Apple and Tesla, will have to have at least 2 diverse directors or explain why they do not. The director should include one person who identifies as a female and another as an underrepresented minority or LGBTQ. It follows complaints about the lack of diversity in corporate America and came to you in economic news.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Showers will occur at times in the Sabaragamu and Western provinces and in the Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Matara districts. Fairly heavy showers above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places in these areas. Several spells of showers will occur in the northwestern province. Showers or thundershowers will occur at a few places in the Uva province and in the Ampara and Batticaloa districts during the evening or night. Fairly strong winds, around 40 to 50 kilometers per hour at times, can be expected in the Hambantota district.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. The government aims to fully vaccinate the citizens above 18 years of age before this September. At least 1,500 people have attended a total of 120 protests carried out within the past month. The intelligence officials say that it is one of the main reasons for the spread of COVID-19. Sri Lanka's COVID death toll reaches nearly 5,000. An amended circular issued on recalling public servants to work. Foreign Minister Gunawardena called for enhanced global efforts to forge closer cooperation between countries to enable the availability and affordability of COVID-19 vaccines to everyone. The Taliban capture Afghanistan regional capital Zaranj. And American Allyson Felix became the most decorated female track and field athlete of all time by taking the 400-meter bronze for her 10th Olympic medal. That concludes this morning's news broadcast.